What's going on, you beautiful people? So this video is going to be about, what is it going to be about? It's going to be about being able to be positive in this life through Jesus, man. All right, that's what it's going to be about. That's what we're going to talk about in here. So basically, for a lot of us that are trying to get closer to Jesus, we understand that when we get closer to Jesus, all of a sudden, we start forgiving people. We start feeling better. We start feeling compassionate. We start feeling loving. We start feeling good. We start feeling the joy of the Lord. And all that great stuff. Am I right? Am I right? Yes, I'm right. And I know you feel that too. But once you start getting into that, I think we all quickly realize that it is not the norm. It is not normal to think about the world like that. It is not normal to look at a tragedy and say, I know everything's going to work out for good for those who love him. That is an extreme example, but that is just something that the closer that we get to Jesus, the more that we're able to detach and to know that everything's going to work out and to be feeling good and being able to look at stuff through positivity and hope and joy and love and peace and all that great stuff. But the problem comes when other people are upset about that. And they're like, well, you're not looking at it in a realistic way. This whole positive thinking, this whole way of looking at stuff in good lights, like you're just being stupid. You're just being naive. You're just being whatever they want to say about it. You know what I'm saying? And for a lot of us, that can be a little bit tough because, like, well, maybe we are just not being realistic. Maybe the world isn't all sunshine and rainbows. Maybe we're going to get I don't know, people try to put that on us. So it's like, oh, when you see something terrible happen, then you're going to realize that everything's going to be not as nice as you think it is. Jesus won't be able to save you in there. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's that stuff. But I was listening yesterday to this girl, and she was talking about the fact that there was a time in her life where she was very negative. She was that negative person. She just would look at stuff that was negative, and she would look at it, and she would just be so against stuff, and she would just be like, she would listen to people that were like positive and like thinking positively about stuff, and she's like, all right, that's gonna last you as long until life smacks you in the mouth. And she's like, oh, like it's just stupid. Like you're not being smart. You're being dumb. Like you're being naive, whatever it is. And she's like, I thought at that time I was looking at it from a realistic point of view. I thought I was looking at it from like, I was a realist or whatever. Like, oh, like we got to be realistic about this and stuff like that. And she was like, later on I realized I was just being cynicism, which is basically like just being super negative about stuff. Being super negative and just being against like positivity. Basically, you just don't want that. You don't want that in your life. And she said that she would like look at the wars. She was like, oh, the wars are always going to go on in the world. Oh, this stuff's always going to go on in the world. This stuff, which can, happen or whatever. But she was like, I realized that I had a choice to decide. She's like, realism doesn't mean that you have to be a cynic. It doesn't mean that you have to be negative about everything. And it makes you think the fact that you can be realistic, but you can still be positive. You can acknowledge the stuff that's going on, and you can still acknowledge that it can get better. Acknowledge that there's hope in the world. Acknowledge that there's stuff coming that's good. There's love in the world. There's joy. There's peace. There's all this great stuff in the world, man. And she was saying that, it was a difference between having to look at it and being like, I can just continue to be negative. I can continue to just be against everything. I can continue to say that. And if I do that, I'm only going to attract that stuff. I'm only going to bring that stuff into my life. And this goes along with something I've been hearing a lot is you don't attract what you want in life, you attract what you are in life. So if you are negative, if you are against everything, if you are just the more like thinking about everything as hopeless, thinking about everything as just all that stuff, cynical about everything, you're going to bring that into it because they're only going to see that, man. And if you go outside, you just bought a brand new car and you're driving your car, you're going to see everything you're going to see anybody that is driving your car out there because you just bought that car and you're paying attention, you're looking for it now. It's always been there, but you're looking for it. So she kind of talked about that a little bit, like you are going to attract the same way that you can attract that stuff that is negative, that is like all that cynicism, you can do it for love, hope, peace, joy. She said, I can either decide to attract that stuff into my life, or I can decide to bring into my life love, hope, peace, joy. Like stuff that is good, stuff that is all that great stuff. You can really start to live your life. And for me, oh my gosh. Hold on a second. And for me, it really connected with me because once I started to live in faith and joy and hope and peace, I started to be able to walk about that and really live through that. And I wish that for you guys today, man. I hope you're able to live in that, and I hope you're able to live in the light of Christ today, every single day, and to just really go out there and be able to spread that every single day, and to be able to go against the negativity of the world, even though anybody might say anything about that to you. I love you guys. Hope you have an amazing one. Peace.